Back in 1988, I thought democracy has won when police was polite and correct and didn't ask documents from every citizen passing on the street. When people on the street didn't drink as much beer as they do now and behaved towards each other tolerantly. You could have seen a crowd of people walking on the street, happy, and not causing any disturbance or noise. It was a feeling of civil self-consciousness that happened to Russia probably only 3 times in the whole history. I was happy to see that and participate in such events. In the 90s, the situation was a little bit more controversial, but still it was a hope that everything would go fine. My feelings were that something was wrong, but I was hoping that we have to overcome this situation and integrate with the rest of the civilized world, like in most common values like respect for the individual rights. Now the situation is simply outstanding and very obvious. I realized the situation was changing into the reverse direction in around 2001, when KGB comes to the power, and also those people who were more or less involved in the repression of the Soviet period. And I realized that all my fears were not in vain, unfortunately.
Эта задница, в которую, видимо, по пьяни случайно проболтался Бондарчук, в которую мы все...
I see that we're going all in an asshole, as Bondarchuk once described. And I realized, and I don't have to be explained, that this system has no future. It either has to be changed within, or it will be changed from outside. Well, I think at least Mr. Illarionov can be ahead of the economical bloc, because he was a former advisor of Mr. Putin for 4 years, and he has a very good team, and he's one of those guys that really understands well economy, so we will not have problems in economy with guys like Mr. Illarionov. As for President's personality, I think it becomes less important if we reject this philosophy, this slavish philosophy that we have to have a master and a Tsar. We have enough smart people in Russia to be able to govern our country. Anybody can be a president, even you. If you ask me if you can be a president, I tell you, you believe in your thoughts, you think you're a smart guy, so you can be a president. The other thing is, if you don't behave and if you don't govern well, there are democratic processes that should be working, and we just get rid of you by voting against you next time. It's very strange that a lot of people still don't understand that, and therefore they're thinking totalitarian logic. We have to have a master. And this is unfortunately runs in our veins, this is in our genetics. At the moments when I see those gathering of people on the Red Square, those neo-Komsomol people who come from different places, from regions, and just made the force or pay for this, support of this Kremlin staged propaganda concerts, I have little respect for these musicians who play there for big money. This public reminds me that somebody is well expressed this as dead Cheburashka. Cheburashka was a personage of the Russian popular cartoon, and I would not like to shake hands with people like this. The world will change faster than we think and than we expect. This authoritarian way of government that we have now in Russia is not effective at all, and even those people who benefit now, corrupted elements that benefit from this system, they will soon run out of money because the system goes absolutely bankrupt. You have to give people some freedom and stop repressive system once and for all. But if they don't do anything within, then the system will be destroyed by the people, and they will all end up like Ceausescu. Famous writer Akunin speaks about process over Khodorkovsky. This process is not really process about Khodorkovsky, but it's a process about the whole system in Russia. This judge, I don't know to what extent he understands his responsibility and his role in this process. Depending on the results of this process, the whole life in Russia could change into one or another direction. It would be either total smashing to pieces what has left of Russian jurisdiction and law. That's what is the most important thing in this process that nobody talks about in the rooms of this court. What do you think personally in what direction this court will go? Well, the hope and logics in this case unfortunately don't match, and I don't want to jinx it anyways. I don't have any predictions for it. Today's FSB, or new KGB, is more like it was in Stalin's period rather than Khrushchev and Brezhnev. They are not yet as much repressed people as during the Stalin's regimes, of course, but there is absolutely lawlessness. They all have license to kill or to basically break the law. They basically do what they want to do. Take, for example, this very familiar scene that you all know, guys probably faced. It's a simple example. You know, the car is an accident and the car kills somebody on the street. And the policeman comes, he shows him the document, and he is an FSB officer. He lets him go. There's no prosecution, nothing. He lets him go. We know that we are all equal under the law, but there are some sub-laws, some secret laws we are not even aware of. So we have an absolutely double standard here, that for us as an ordinary citizens, we have a law, and for those who are in government, especially FSB, there is no law. So if you're a really, really small person, I mean, if you're a pawn in this hierarchy of FSB, just a little small person, you're privileged not to be responsible for your actions. Well, actually, when this case was opened against my client, I am, as a lawyer, don't even know who opened the case. What are the details of the case? Until yesterday, yesterday night, yes, yesterday night, until yesterday night when they just knew that we're going to have this press conference, and they all hurried up. How can you solve this crime if you don't even know the version of the accused? It's absolutely neglected. I don't blame any particular police officer or the persecutor. They are just normal people like us. But when they constantly hear from the government that the people who speak their mind are the enemies of the state, they of course form their consciousness in a certain direction, as these people are expendable.
Поднимают самые важные, трудные и больные вопросы в нашей стране, в нашем обществе, и пытаются сделать ее лучше. Такие слова, такая атмосфера дает сигнал бандитам, заказчикам этих преступлений о том, что можно это делать, что власть это, по крайней мере, не заметит, а может быть даже и поддержит. Мне кажется, здесь в обществе и в стране отсутствует
прямая внутренняя ответственность людей, которые занимают любую полочку в нашем социуме. Посмотрите, нападают на профсоюзного активиста, предположим, Верхневолжский, да, Всеволожский. Мы слышали что-нибудь, чтобы директор или руководство этого концерна сказали, что профсоюзный активист – это наш человек, мы его будем защищать. Мы с ним ругаемся, мы спорим, мы с ним в конфликте, но мы не дадим возможность подонкам на него нападать.